I get the impression that when this movie was made and the things we heard about it online where it's the same script, even they took out some of the jokes that are more ethnic or body shaming or slut shaming based, and so it's a little bit more appropriate for Gen Z because the perception is that they won't tolerate those types of jokes. So you hear that as a person who saw Mean Girls in the first place, and you think, oh, so this will be safer for kids than the one that I saw, and it was fine when I saw it in high school, so sure, let's go. You can go see it with your friends, it's fine. It's not that, and I worry that it was set up to lure us into a false sense of security. It is whatever percentage of sexual you thought the original Mean Girls was, this is 10 times that.
Welcome to another episode of Is This for Kids? I am Jonathan Bearded Blevins.
I am Katie, MrsRuvi.
MrsRuvi, how are we today?
Oh, so good.
Have you ever seen Caleb Presley from Barstool Sports?
No.
He's got long hair and he wears like a little tie. He's got this kind of face that you would probably think is kind of adorable.
I don't like where this is going.
And he does this thing where he interviews people and it's a whole bit and he's just really funny and awkward and it's just kind of the point and it's unbelievable. But I feel like we should do that on a show once. So like
he
would do something like this. We're here today to talk about the brand new Mean Girls. Are you a mean girl?
No, John.
Why not?
Oh, did I ever tell you my Mean Girls story from high school?
So the movie's not for you?
No, yeah, it's.
But you did go to high school.
I have questions.
So the movie's about what?
What?
How come there's no mean boys?
I'm gonna start drinking.
That happens in the movie.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Are you more of a Regina George?
No.
Why does she have two names that are both names?
That's a great question.
I know.
Her first name means queen. It was not an accident.
Interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what he does, except it's more funny. Because he's funnier than I am apparently at doing that, and he's had a lot more practice.
Yeah, right now this is just uncomfortable for me and for our viewers.
Mean Girls 2024, though, by the way, a musical. Tell me the story first. So you were...
Yeah, I had Mean Girls in high school.
You had them.
I had them. So I moved to the town where my high school was literally 2 days before high school started. So I didn't know anybody, nothing at all. And there were some Mean Girls that kind of... by junior year had started a club that they called the Katie Haters Club. They wrote reasons why they hated me on their binders, and I think they all got in trouble once a teacher figured out what KHC stood for. But apparently I wasn't supposed to have started dating the boy I dated in high school. So
that happens in this movie.
I know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was like a burn book, but each girl had their own folder and they just wrote their own reasons.
But you never participated in those things.
I was usually the one getting...
Is it called the burn book because you're supposed to burn it later?
I think so.
I'll stop doing the Caleb.
We totally had one.
You would be really good
on
his show, by the way.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah. You had what?
We had a burn book in my middle school, though. Like the same concept. That was from like a Disney Channel original movie. They had that. They didn't call it a burn book, though. I can't remember what they called it. But like you wrote... Somebody who has seen a lot of Disney Channel original movies, my friend Jillian, does an entire podcast called... Decombat, which is incredible, about Disney Channel original movies. We'll know what this is, and I'm gonna have to call her. But they wrote somebody's name at the top of each page, and then they passed it around the school, and everybody wrote mean things about
horrible.
them. That happened in my middle school too. But
I don't remember any of this stuff in my school.
You were probably cool, weren't you?
It depends. Yes and no. That we had a lot. We had so many people, and I think my middle school had over 1,000 people in it. It was 3 stories. It was massive. And my high school had like 900 or 500, 600 graduate.
Yeah.
So like there were pockets of cool and pockets of all kinds. And so I was like, I kind of floated.
Yeah.
I got picked on every once in a while, but not like a book. Like, that's too much.
I went to summer school and graduated early so that I didn't have to be there anymore.
Smart.
I know, I did the thing.
So we're going to talk about Mean Girls, the 2024 new musical that just came out. Did you know
it was a musical, or did it take you by surprise?
I did know this time.
Yeah.
It still took me by surprise because how do you make it into a musical? I thought I actually did a pretty decent job of that.
Yeah.
Before we get into it, though, would you please...
Give a summary?
Yeah. I was going to ask you if we should spend some time talking about the first Mean Girls.
Well, it's effectively the same plot. Like, they didn't change the plot, they didn't change the characters. So you do have your main character, who is Katie Heron, comes from in the original movie they just said Africa in general, and in this one they said Kenya specifically.
I didn't even get that. It really is the same.
It's the same movie, the same characters. Regina George is the bad guy.
I only thought Regina George was the only character that like actually the name stayed. It's been so long since I've seen the first one.
Yeah, they made a few changes. Like they made a pretty substantial effort to have more diversity in the cast. So the girl who plays Karen, I think she's Indian. I'm not positive. She's fantastic though. That character was so perfect. I hate to say that she did it better than Amanda Seyfried, but I think she did.
Avantika. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but that's the name of the actress. And she's hilarious.
She was so good. And then, so Karen was there. Gretchen Wieners was still there. It's the same plot.
Okay.
However, they have removed some of the jokes and they made it a musical. So there you go.
So when you say same plot, because I did not pick up on this. I've seen Mean Girls one time, the first one, Lindsay Lohan, right?
Yeah.
A long time ago. It's the same, the burn book.
The exact same plot, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the same prop of a burn book, yeah. Pretty sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right over my head.
Yeah. A couple of little changes, like in the first movie, Katie has 2 parents. In this one, she's a single mom. And then
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you like the first one?
I did. I thought like on a scale of 1 to 10, I would call that one an 8. Like it's very funny, very true to a lot of people's high school experiences and how girls are kind of backstabby and rude. And it was based on a sociology book actually. So, but it was pretty spot on.
So the original Mean Girls came out in 2004.
2004.
Which is when I was in high school. I was a junior in high school.
I was in college.
Okay, and you related to it. I remember watching that movie, the first one, and just being like, "That is not how high school is," and so I just didn't think it was that. Like, it was still kind of funny because it was edgy.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, "This isn't for me" when I watched it.
Yeah, my high school was like yours. It didn't have a popular group of people. My high school was pretty big, so it wasn't easy to have like a set popular group. And if you got all the junior girls into the gymnasium at the same time, it would have been a lot more girls than that. But like the cattiness and the backstabbing and the things, like they didn't do it in this movie, but like they do a 3-way call in the original movie where they're like, I've got Karen on the other line and we're going to talk about you and see what she says. Okay, great. And then they talk to each other about the person who's sitting quietly in the background and you see what that person really thinks of you. Those kinds of things really did happen, at least in the early 2000s.
Yikes. Like the thing I had to worry about was whether or not my mom was listening in on like my phone conversation with my girlfriend.
Yeah, the girls are mean.
Which was never inappropriate. It was just me being super awkward.
Sure.
Are we official? Are we back together since lunch? Those kinds of things.
Put it in writing.
We did. We wrote notes.
That's so
And then our moms wrote our notes.
That's cute and sad.
It's not. It's horrible. I got caught at every single turn of trying to do something like wrong when I was in high school. I got caught.
Were you not allowed to have girlfriends?
No, I was, but I wasn't allowed to go to parties, and I wasn't supposed to like stay over at anyone's house. And like anytime I tried to plan on doing any of those things, my mom caught me, and not because she was like sneaky and even looking, just because I was an idiot. Like I would just leave notes in my pockets, and my mom did my laundry. Yeah. There's the note. Oh, I'll read it. I can't believe we're gonna have our first sleepover. And like there was not like it wasn't like we were planning on anything horrible happening. But like it was definitely like we're gonna make out,
Oh well, sure.
Well, but I couldn't go. Mom saw the note.
That's true. Fans of banter will love this episode. Fans of not banter, not so much.
Well, if you don't like banter, wrong podcast.
My bad.
Don't you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so your thoughts in general on this movie, the musical Mean Girls 2024.
So, I don't think you can talk about this movie without putting it in context of the original movie, really. And I have some sort of conspiratorial thoughts about this particular
conspiracies.
Gonna get
Hello, Instagram.
Yes, hi, nice to see you. I get the impression that when this movie was made and the things we heard about it online where it's the same script, even they took out some of the jokes that are more ethnic or body shaming or slut shaming based, and so it's a little bit more appropriate for Gen Z because the perception is that they won't tolerate those types of jokes. So you hear that as a person who saw Mean Girls in the first place and you think, oh, so this will be safer for kids than the one that I saw, and it was fine when I saw it in high school, so sure, let's go. You can go see it with your friends, it's fine. It's not that, and I worry that it was set up to lure us into a false sense of security. It is whatever percentage of sexual you thought the original Mean Girls was, this is 10 times that. If you look at the costumes, like whatever costume that they were wearing in the original Mean Girls, take 2 inches off in all directions of fabric. There's just 2 inches less fabric on every end of the costume.
Not passing the...
Not going to pass the arms down at the side.
Rule.
No, it's not going to happen. And the best example I can think of this is like the Christmas program that they do. In the original movie, they do Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, and somebody kicks over the boom box, and it's a whole like Lindsay Lohan can sing. Oh wow, how great, and that's how she recovers. In this movie, they've changed it to Rockin' Around the Pole.
The Christmas pole.
Yeah. And it's very clearly stripper moves. Now, like in the original movie, it was a little bit stripper moves, and people were obviously like appalled when it happened. This was like lay on the ground, spread your legs, and look back at the audience kind of thing. Very, very much more sexualized than the original movie. And I worry that parents will say, I saw the original, sure, go see it. And I don't think you'll feel the same way about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you didn't like it?
I did not like it.
Okay, I didn't like it either, but I will say the songs, not bad.
Right.
Pretty clever, but not like amazing either. I didn't go home singing any of them.
Right.
That would have been weird.
Right.
It was weird being a 36-year-old alone in this movie. I was hiding.
My kids were laughing about it. They're like, John's going to have to go see this all by himself.
Well, Jody, like, I love her. I need to start talking to Jody. We made a whole plan with Is This for Kids? We're going to, like, decide what things we want to see together and get a sitter and go see them together.
Yeah.
Because she would have seen this with me. Mm-hmm. She wouldn't have liked it either.
No.
But she would have, like, she liked the first one, so like you, she would have wanted to see it. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I was alone. It was horrible. But, like, the singing wasn't bad. It was pretty funny, like, at points. Avantika, who played Karen, I don't know if I'm saying her name wrong. I'm sorry, Evan, but I think I'm saying it right. Yeah. She was hilarious.
Stole the show by far.
Yes. The way she looked at the camera, the way she like had these one-liners, the way she played being dumb so well, she did
perfect.
It was unbelievable. So that was good and kind of funny. Mm-hmm. I will say for me the weirdest part about it was it seemed like a movie that was trying to push an agenda, but I couldn't tell if it was actually trying to push an agenda or if it was trying to make fun of people who think that it's an agenda. I couldn't figure it out because at one point they're like, we were going to throw in almost too much diversity, so much diversity that no one can question whether or not there's enough diversity. But at the same time, we're going to be really stereotypical. So there's going to be a really smart Indian kid.
Yeah.
And there's going to be the gay character is going to be best friends with an outcast. Yeah. And the outcast is going to be super really cool and pretty, but no one's going to like her for no reason.
Right.
It's like, so stereotypes, they're true, they're not true. Are we supposed to believe it? I couldn't tell what it was trying to be.
Yeah. I took my oldest daughter to see it. My 15-year-old went with me. She agreed that she doesn't think that anybody younger than her should be watching it. She was like 15, is probably like a high school age, see it with a parent. I wouldn't send her by herself to see it and walk away, but she was looking at it and I was like, is that how your generation views things? Because like for me, I saw this right after high school. I was in college and it rang true when I saw the original Mean Girls. I was like, does this seem to ring true to you? And she's like, no, this is not accurate of the actual high school experience. So she says it feels like it was written by millennials for what they think a Gen Z or Gen Alpha person would like, as opposed to what's actually true.
So Tina Fey just wrote what her agenda is and to the wrong audience.
I like Tina Fey. I think she's very funny. I think that her jokes got neutered because she was trying to make them funny to people she doesn't necessarily understand.
Speaking of neutered, I feel like the every male character.
Well, they always were. There was only one male character in the first one. He was always
okay. So that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just like the principal, just no backbone throughout the whole movie. Like, just what's the point of him being there? He's like, oh, you handle this really hard situation. I'll just go home and clean for the week.
Unfortunately, all of his funny lines from the original movie had racial implications, and so they were taken out. So anything that would have been, I don't know, like there's a point where all the girls are going feral in the hallway, and in the first movie he hits the alarm and says, "Oh no, I did not leave the South Side for this." And then in the new movie they say, I did not go to grad school for this.
Oh yeah,
and you're
that's
like,
not funny.
That's not even a joke. That's just why we lose teachers. Like, it's just you have too much education you're not being paid enough for what you're being put through.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I didn't love it. If you want to see a Mean Girls, I would say the original Mean Girls is appropriate for 13 and up. This one, if you go with your kid, 14 and up.
Yeah, there's like underage drinking, hardcore, lying to your parents, way too much sex stuff.
There's way too much sex stuff.
And especially like they're high schoolers. It's very awkward.
Yeah, there's a part in there where the very funny girl Karen, she's singing at a Halloween party and she's wearing lingerie and animal ears, which is a joke from the original movie. But she bends forward and sticks her booty up into the air, lifts her skirt up so that you can look directly into her booty, and shakes it at you.
Yeah.
Like, it's very much a stripper move. And when you're thinking like this is supposed to be a high school junior, that's really gross.
Yeah, it's gross and it's super weird.
Yeah.
So is that your age? Is that what you're saying? 15?
I would say let a 15-year-old go. If you go with them, I would not send a kid by themselves to see this movie.
Interesting. I thought of it this way, which is unfair because my oldest is turning 9 in a couple days. My middle is 7, and then my daughter is only 4.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, would I ever want to take my daughter to this movie after seeing it? And I'm like, nope, I don't think so. I'd rather not. Way too much sexual content, way too many jokes about sexual activities, guessing bra sizes by jumping, like for high schoolers.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a prude. Okay, in high school, like we made inappropriate jokes, but oh my gosh, we never would have come up with something like that. Like that is just weird. It's almost too much.
The equivalent joke in the original movie was he walks up to her and says, "Would you like your muffin buttered? Can we assign someone to butter your muffin?" And it's like clearly a joke that he's making fun of her by saying code terms for sex stuff. And she's like, "Do you want to have sex with him?" "No." "Okay, bye, Jason." But like, he was just outright crude to her in this one. Like, it's not a joke anymore. It's not and maybe that is how kids are these days, but I don't love it.
If they are, I don't think they mean it. Like, it's one of those, like, it's just a persona, and they're like, I hope they don't say yes. And anyway, I'm going to say like 16, 17 with mom and dad, but not worth watching.
Yeah, if you want to watch it, go watch the old one. That's my...
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan, much better.
Woohoo!
And also, like, what's the word? Spoiler alert. Lindsay Lohan's character and like her appearance, not good.
Oh, poor Lindsay.
No, she's like, I want her to make a full blown comeback.
I don't. She just had a baby. She wants to. Like,
she's doing well.
She's doing great.
Okay, good.
Yeah, she just had a baby. She can hang out at home. She's
okay,
fine.
Sweet. That's fine. Never mind. I take it back.
We
Just go ahead
Lindsay.
And watch Parent Trap.
Parent Trap.
We'll watch Parent Trap and just live in the good old days.
Yeah, you know Lindsay watches this.
Lindsay, thanks for being such a supporter of the show. Sorry about your
supporter.
performance in the second Mean Girls.
I thought you did great.
Yeah.
He's the worst.
We've been getting a lot of really good suggestions for episodes that we should do. We'll read all of our comments on Instagram and TikTok and all over social media. We also have a Patreon with a bunch of extra benefits if people want to subscribe to that.
That's true. They can come into our Discord. They can suggest episodes. They can chat with us. I sent special pictures of my kids and I watching some of the ones that are on streaming this week. So they got some firsthand looks at the fam.
That's super fun. So extra content. And also, we take those very seriously, the suggestions in the Discord as well. I think actually today we're going to be recording an episode that was suggested
by the
Patreon Discord.
Yeah. So definitely go over to patreon.com/isthisforkids and sign up at one of the levels and come hang out with us in the Discord, right?
What a blessing.
What a blessing. You know, there is so much media out there for us to navigate as parents.
I'm Jonathan Beard of Blevins.
I'm Katie, MrsRuvi. Let us help you decide.
Is this for kids?